Hey everyone, welcome back to the next paradigm by Odin Labs. I'm Alex, and as always, I'm here with my co host Zara, who asks all the questions you're probably thinking.
Hey there! Yeah, that's because I actually want to know, Alex. And today we're talking about methylation, which, I'll be honest, sounds like something straight out of a chemistry textbook. But apparently it's happening like millions of times per second in our bodies. So I figured it's kind of important. I mean, if it's happening that often, we should probably understand what it is, right?
Yeah, it turns out our bodies are basically molecular assembly lines. And methylation is like one of the main supervisors. It controls things like energy, mood, detoxification, and even how well your body switches genes on and off. So, just small stuff, whether you feel like a functioning human or a rundown mess.
And you actually did a methylation test, right? I remember you mentioning something about getting your results back.
Yep, turns out my body isn't exactly an efficiency machine when it comes to processing certain nutrients. And honestly, when I first saw my methylation results, I was completely lost. It's kind of overwhelming. What's working, what's not, and why does any of it matter? That's exactly why I wanted to make this episode as a guide for anyone who might be curious but doesn't know where to start. This test is actually an incredible tool for deconstructing what's missing in your body and figuring out how to optimize your health. So today we're breaking down what my results mean, why methylation is such a big deal, and what you can do to hack your own biochemistry for better energy, focus, and longevity.
Don't worry, we're keeping this super simple. No science degree required. I mean, I certainly don't have one. Just some cool insights into how your body works and how you can actually make it work better. Because honestly, who doesn't want their body to work a little better, right?
Exactly. So if you ever felt tired for no reason, struggled with brain fog, or just want to live longer without feeling like a zombie, this episode is for you. Let's get into it.
All right, Alex, let's start with the basics. What the heck is methylation, and why should anyone care?
Great question. Because when I first heard the term methylation, my brain immediately checked out. Honestly, I first came across it on social media. Gary Brecka, one of those big health influencers, was talking about it. And I was like, okay, this sounds super interesting, but what the hell does it actually mean? It was honestly a little bit over my head. So let's break it down in super simple, kind of like steps, I guess. Methylation is converting vitamins and minerals into active, usable forms so your body can actually do something with them. It's kind of like taking raw ingredients and turning them into a finished product your body can use. For example, folate or vitamin B9 from food needs to be converted into methyl so it can help with DNA repair and detoxification. Vitamin B12 needs to be transformed into methyl uh, cobalamin, which helps nervous system, energy production, and red blood cell formation. Choline and betaine, two compounds important for brain health, also go through methylation to support detox, liver function, and neurotransmitter balance. If your methylation cycle isn't working properly, your body struggles to activate these nutrients, which means even if you are eating the right foods, you might not actually be absorbing or using the nutrients you get from them effectively. That's why some people feel tired or foggy even when they take vitamins. Their bodies just don't aren't converting them efficiently.
Okay, I like this. Methylation is basically the ultimate life hack happening inside our bodies. But what exactly is it doing? Like on a day to day basis?
So, in more general terms, methylation is a biochemical reaction where your body adds a tiny chemical tag, a methyl group, to molecules. This helps control how genes are expressed, how we detox, how we process nutrients, and how our brain functions. Uh, you can think of these methyl groups as little stickers on your body that your body slaps onto different molecules, telling them what to do and when to turn on or off.
So this is happening all the time inside us? Like Right now, as we're talking?
Yep, billions of times per second. It's literally one of the most important processes in the body, but most people never heard of it. It helps with energy production, like turning food into usable energy, brain function, helping neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin, detoxification, clearing out heavy metals and toxins, immune system regulation, DNA repair, and so on and so on.
So basically, if methylation is off, we feel like crap. Is that a fair summary?
Pretty much. If your body isn't methylating properly, you could be dealing with things like fatigue, brain fog, anxiety, poor detoxification, or even higher risk of chronic. Good news, you can actually improve it.
Okay, now I need to know what messes it up. Like, what are the main things that can throw methylation off balance?
Well, three big things are diet, stress, and genetics. If you're eating nutrient poor processed foods, or if you're constantly stressed, or if you have certain genetic mutations, your methylation might not be working as efficiently as it should. This is what I heard from Gary Brecka and why I decided to take the methylation test in the first place. Even if you have genetic variations that make methylations harder, you can still optimize it with right nutrients, basically optimize for deficiencies. So, like, I really love that concept.
You got a methylation test done, and I want to understand what you actually learned from it. Can we break it down step by step?
Absolutely. This test basically measures how well body processes certain nutrients and manages important functions. It's like getting a user manual for how your body works. Instead of guessing what vitamins you need, I now have actual data, so I can make decisions based on data, not by guessing. So let's go through the major sections of the test. So the first one is the folate cycle. It essentially converts folate into usable form.
Folate sounds familiar. It's in leafy greens, right? What does the folate cycle actually do in your body?
Exactly. Folate, also known as vitamin B9, is an essential nutrient we can get from food. But here's the thing, though. Your body can just use it as is. It needs to convert folate into something that's called methylfolate, which is an active version your body can actually know what to do with. Think of it as turning raw wheat into bread. It's the same thing. It has to go through the process first.
And your test showed how well your body does that specific conversion?
My results showed that my folate cycle is moderately efficient, meaning my body does convert folate, but not as well as it could. This could lead to higher homocysteine levels, which is a fancy way of saying that my body might have harder time keeping inflammation low or making new cells.
So, what can you actually do to support your folate cycle now that you know this? I mean, are there specific foods or supplements that would help?
For sure, I can focus on eating more natural sources of folate, like spinach and avocados, and if needed, supplement with methylfolate. Um, it's called 5-MTHF, which is already a form of folate that my body can use right away. So it doesn't need to convert it.
All right, next up, the methionine cycle. What is it?
Methionine is an amino acid, which is just a small building block that makes up protein. This cycle takes methionine and turns it into something that's called SAMe, which is like a helper molecule that your body uses to keep cells working properly, control mood, and detox harmful substances.
That sounds pretty important, actually. What did your test say about this particular cycle? Was there anything concerning in your results?
My methionine cycle is impaired, which means that my body isn't making as much SAMe as it should. This could lead to basically fatigue, mood imbalances, like things like depression or depressive tendencies, and trouble clearing toxins from my system.
Oh, wow. So how do you fix something like that? Like, is there a way to support your methionine cycle?
For sure, I basically need to support my body with more B12 vitamin, especially in its active form, uh,
Hmm.
methylcobalamin, Uh, I also need to get enough choline and betaine, which are nutrients that help keep the cycle running smoothly. These are found in eggs, fish, and beets. But there's also a supplement called SAMe, so I can take that.
Oh, gotcha. So you can either get it from food or just supplement directly with the SAMe that your body's having trouble making. That makes sense. Okay, so this next one is about detoxification, right? The transsulfuration pathway?
You got it exactly. This pathway helps convert homocysteine, a byproduct from methionine cycle, into cysteine, which is then used to make glutathione. Glutathione is basically your body's master antioxidant, meaning it helps clear out toxins and protect cells from damage. Think of it as cleanup crew for your body.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And how's your cleanup crew doing? What did the test say about this pathway?
Well, good news here. My transsulfuration pathway is functioning normally. My body is doing decent job of making glutathione and handling detox. But just because it's working, it doesn't mean I should ignore it. I still want to support it by eating sulfur-rich foods like garlic, onions, and cruciferous vegetables.
Okay, last one, the BH4 cycle. What does this do?
This cycle is all about making neurotransmitters, which are chemicals that control your mood, focus, and sleep. It helps your body produce dopamine, serotonin, and melatonin. The stuff that keeps you happy, alert, and sleeping well.
That sounds super important. What did your test say?
Unfortunately, my BH4 cycle is impaired, which means that my body might not be making enough of these neurotransmitters efficiently. This could explain why I sometimes struggle with sleep specifically and mood stability. Kind of like I can get more depressed than normal.
Oh, that makes sense. So, how do you fix it?
I need to reduce oxidative stress, which means making sure I get enough vitamin C, zinc, and magnesium. These nutrients help protect from and support the cycle.
All right, big picture. What did this test reveal about how your body handles B9, folate, and B12?
It showed that I need to pay close attention to both. Since my folate cycle is moderately efficient, uh, I should focus on getting folate from whole foods and possibly supplement with methylfolate. And because my methionine cycle is impaired, I need methylcobalamin or active B12 to help my body keep everything running smoothly.
So, this test basically gave you a map of what your body needs.
Exactly. Instead of just taking random supplements and hoping for the best, I now have a real data showing where I need the support. It's like having custom game plan for your health. Here's a recap based on my test. I need to take following supplements: methylfolate, since my folate cycle isn't fully efficient. I need the active form of folate to support DNA repair and cell function. I also need methyl cobalamin or B12. My methionine cycle is struggling, so I need the active form of B12 to support energy production and detoxification. Choline, choline and betaine, these help my methionine cycle moving and support liver function found in eggs, fish, and beets. SAMe, since my body isn't producing enough, I might supplement to support methylation and mood regulation. Vitamin C, zinc, and magnesium, these are crucial for neurotransmitter production and keeping my BH4 cycle working properly.
And now, a quick message from our sponsors.
That's right. We want to thank the sponsor of the show. That it would not be possible without you. Uh, so thank you, Odin Labs, the health coaching company helping people with chronic health issues using a bioenergetic protocol designed to get to the root cause of health concerns. If this sounds interesting, book your free consultation at odinhealthlab.com. That's ODIN healthlab.com.
All right, Alex, now that we understand what methylation is and what your test revealed, the big question is, can we actually improve methylation or is it just the way we're built? I mean, it's genetic, right?
That's a great question. The answer is both yes and no. Yes, methylation is influenced by genetics, but no, you're not completely stuck with what you're born with. Think of it as like a car. You might have a specific engine, but how well it runs depends on the fuel you put into it, how often you maintain it, and how you drive it. This is where epigenetics comes in. Epigenetics is a study of how environmental factors like diet, stress, sleep, and toxins can influence which genes get turned on and which genes get turned off. Even if someone has a genetic variation that makes methylation slower, epigenetics allows us to modify gene expression so that your body can function more efficiently. So while we can change the DNA we're born with, we can affect how these genes behave, which is why lifestyle and nutrition matter so much. While we can change our genes, we can influence how they express themselves. This is called epigenetics. How lifestyle, diet, environment, they can basically turn genes on and off. So even if somebody has a genetic variation that slows down methylation, they can support and improve the process with the right strategies. Let's break down exactly how that works.
Okay, so food still plays a role even if our genes are set? Like we can't change our genetic code, but what we eat can actually impact how those genes function.
Yep, absolutely. Your body relies on specific nutrients to keep methylation running smoothly. And these nutrients come from food. If you're missing key vitamins and minerals, your methylation efficiency drops, even if your genetics are perfect. Here are the most important foods for methylation. For example, leafy greens like spinach, kale, arugula, romaine, high in folate or vitamin B9, which is needed for methylation. Eggs contain choline, which helps with methyl group donation. Beets rich in betaine, which helps lower homocysteine levels. Fatty fish like salmon, sardines, mackerels, high in B12, a key player in methylation. Liver, a powerhouse of B vitamins, including folate and B12. Nuts and seeds like sunflower seeds, almonds, walnuts provide magnesium and zinc, which support neurotransmitter production.
So even if someone has what you might call bad methylation genes, eating these foods can give their body what it needs to work more efficiently. It's like giving your system the tools it needs to function better, even if the blueprint isn't perfect.
Exactly. Think of it as like upgrading the fuel in your car. You're not changing the engine, but you're making it run better.
What about things outside of food? Can lifestyle impact methylation too? I'm thinking about things like stress or sleep or exercise.
Yep, in a big way. Methylation isn't just about nutrition, it's also about stress, sleep, detoxification. Even if somebody eats a perfect diet, chronic stress, poor sleep, and toxin exposure can mess up methylation big time.
Stress actually affects methylation? I mean, I guess that makes sense since stress seems to affect everything in our bodies, but how does that work exactly?
Yeah, 100%. Chronic stress raises cortisol levels, and high cortisol can drain methyl groups. Since methylation helps regulate neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, being in a constant state of stress can make things worse. Well, here's some like ways to manage stress and protect methylation. So simple things like deep breathing and meditation, right? They can help regulate stress hormones. Exercise, super helpful. It supports blood flow and metabolism. Quality sleep, essential for methylation and brain detoxification because during sleep, our brain literally cleans itself. Magnesium supplementation helps relax the body and support neurotransmitter function. And those are really simple things you can do to manage stress.
What about detox? Does that really affect methylation? I know detox is kind of a buzzword these days, but is there a real connection there with the methylation process?
Definitely. Methylation plays a role in getting rid of toxins like heavy metals, and excess hormones, for example. If your methylation pathways are sluggish, your body struggles to detox properly. So here are some simple things you can do to support detox and methylation. So, for example, and everybody knows that, drink enough water. Hydration is a key for detoxification. Eat cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and cabbage to support the liver, which essentially detoxes our whole body. Support gut health. A balanced gut microbiome also helps absorb nutrients, right? So if you're absorbing nutrients, you will have enough. Get enough antioxidants like vitamin C, selenium, and glutathione to help with oxidative stress.
So, what if someone does all of this but still struggles with methylation?
That's when supplements can be of help. If someone has genetic variations that slow down methylation, or if they have symptoms like brain fog, fatigue, mood swings, targeted supplementation can basically help out and bridge the gap. Some key supplements for methylation support. Here's some examples. So methylfolate, that 5-MTHF, for those people who don't convert folic acid well, basically like me, methylcobalamin or B12 or active form of B12 helps energy, brain function, and methylation balance. SAMe, we mentioned all of these before. It supports mood and neurotransmitter balance. Magnesium reduces stress and supports relaxation. Glutathione or NAC supports detox and antioxidant defense.
Okay, so let's answer the original question then. Can people actually improve their methylation, or are we just stuck with whatever genetics we've been handed? Like, if you're a poor methylator, are you just kind of out of luck?
We can absolutely improve it, but within limits. If someone has genetic variations that slow down methylation, they'll never turn into a super methylator. But they can optimize the processes as much as possible. It's like having a slow internet connection. You can change the speed of your service plan, but you can upgrade your router and use a wired connection and close unnecessary tabs that make it will make things run smoother, basically. Genetics set the baseline, but diet, lifestyle, and supplements can make a huge difference in how efficiently your body methylates. The best part, small changes can add up over time, uh, and improving methylation can lead to better energy, mood, detox, and overall health.
That's actually really encouraging. So, even if you're not like built for perfect methylation, you're not just stuck with what you've got.
Exactly. You can change your genes, but you can absolutely work with them to feel your best. And that's what biohacking is all about: understanding your body and optimizing.
All right, Alex, now that we know how methylation works and what can influence it, let's talk about what this actually means for day to day health. Why should the average person care about methylation?
Great question. Methylation isn't just some abstract biochemical process. Uh, it's happening million times per second in your body every second of the day. And when it's not working properly, you feel it. A lot of common health complaints actually tie back to poor methylation.
So, what are some real life symptoms of poor methylation that people might notice?
If methylation isn't working efficiently, here are some examples. Difficulty of losing weight. I think everybody can relate to that. That's a very common problem. Methylation affects metabolism, hormone balance, and detoxification, all of which play a role in weight regulation. If methylation is sluggish, your body might hold on to excess weight more easily. Fatigue is another very common problem. Your body isn't producing enough energy. Mood swings or anxiety, methylation helps produce neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin, so it affects it. Brain fog, poor methylation can lead to sluggish cognitive function. Uh, Inflammation and joint pain. Methylation helps regulate homocysteine, which can cause inflammation if it builds up. Uh, Poor detoxification. If your body isn't methylating well, it struggles to clear out the toxins uh, and excess hormones. weakened immune system. You can get sick all the time. Methylation plays a role in immune cell production. Cardiovascular issues, uh, elevate homocysteine levels due to poor methylation can increase heart risks, and so on and so forth. As you can see, it pretty much affects everything.
So, methylation affects way more than just metabolism. It touches everything from mood to energy to inflammation.
Exactly. That's why it's such an important part of longevity and overall health.
So, if someone is dealing with, fatigue, mood swings, or brain fog, should they go get a methylation test? Is that something people should be doing?
Well, not everyone needs to rush out and get tested, but there are definitely people who should strongly consider it. Like, for example, anyone with persistent fatigue, depression, or anxiety that has not improved with lifestyle changes, or people with family histories of cardiovascular disease or neurological disorders, anyone with unexplained inflammation or joint pain, people don't who don't respond well to traditional supplements. If, for example, you're taking folic acid or B12 and it makes you feel worse, you might have a methylation issue. Those struggling with detox symptoms like, chronic skin issues, headaches, chemical sensitivities, anyone interested in optimizing their health for longevity, really, that's the bottom line. If that's your thing, you should probably considering getting tested.
And how do you get tested? Like, what's involved in that?
Well, it's very simple. There's different DNA-based methylation tests that look at key genes involved in methylation, as well as blood tests that measure markers like homocysteine, SAMe, and folate levels. It's always a good idea to work with a functional medicine doctor or health practitioner to interpret these results. As you can see, they can be quite confusing. The cost of methylation tests can vary, but there's kind of a general range for DNA based tests, anywhere from, let's say, $200 to $600, depending on what company you use. And then blood tests for homocysteine, folate, and B12, it's a regular blood test, so between $50 and $150 per test. Some comprehensive panels can go up to $500, but they might not be necessary.
All right, let's wrap this up. What are the top takeaways for people who want to support their methylation?
Okay, if you want to optimize methylation, here's what you should do. So, eat for methylation. Basically, eat methylation supporting foods, leafy greens, eggs, beets, fish, liver, get enough B vitamins, especially active B vitamin forms. Again, you always take supplements, but you're not really looking at the label. So you should look at things like, vitamin B, it's methylfolate. So it's an active form of vitamin B. If it's B12, it's methyl cobalamin, which is an active form of B12. Consider basically a methylated B vitamin complex, because most people don't actually get enough right vegetables and right foods. So, as a general rule, it's a really good idea to take kind of like a complex of B vitamins that is methylated, that has these active forms of B vitamins in it. Manage stress. As we discussed, chronic stress depletes methylation resources. So, doing simple things like, box breathing or simple meditations and improve quality of your sleep. That's super helpful. You need to support your detox pathways, drink enough water, uh, eat enough vegetables, get antioxidants like vitamin C and glutathione. Consider supplementing with additional things like SAMe, for example. Uh, Magnesium can be super helpful. If you're struggling with symptoms, get tested because it's a really good idea. It will give you an idea exactly what your body needs, and that's pretty much it. That's really a good guideline of what you can do.
This has been super eye opening. Methylation isn't just a buzzword, it's something we can actually support and optimize for better health. I mean, looking at that list, it's pretty practical stuff, right? Like eating more leafy greens and eggs and making sure we're getting those active B vitamins. And I think what stands out to me is how much stress impacts this whole process. We talk about
Exactly.
stress management all the time, but now there's this whole other reason why meditation and sleep are so important.
Exactly. Bottom line is methylation influences pretty much everything, like every system in your body. And while genetics set the foundation, your choices determine how well those systems function. Small, consistent changes in things like diet and lifestyle, and even supplementation can make a huge difference over time. And I want to thank you people like Gary Brecka who brought this to my attention because it's so important. And to be honest, I've never heard of it before I heard Gary Brecka speak. So all my hat goes off to him and important work that he's doing. I think it's very important to get educated on things like that because they're so crucial in our life.
All right, now I have a million questions about how this ties into longevity and aging. I think we just found our next episode topic,
I love it. We should for sure talk about this at some point. Yes,
and we want to hear from you. If you have questions about methylation, personal experiences, or topics you'd love us to cover in future episodes, reach out. Drop us a message on social media, email us, or leave a review with your feedback.
that's right. Your input helps us tremendously shape the show, and we love diving into what matters most to you. And please don't forget to visit the sponsor of the show, Odin Labs. Book a free consultation to learn more about bioenergetic protocol designed to address chronic health concerns. Book your free consultation at odinhealthlab.com today. That's ODIN healthlab.com. Thanks for joining us today. Stay curious, stay healthy, and we'll see you in the next episode.
See you next time.